You're listening to ArTeetude, a podcast with artists created and produced by Detlef Schlick, a visual artist and ritual designer, living and loving in West Cork, and best known for his essay about the cause and effect of shamanism, art and digital culture. Working in the field of performance, photography, painting, sound, installations, and film, he will dive and discover with us and a weekly creative guest into the unknown and exciting deep ocean of the creative mind.
This is Detlef Schlick, and today we dive into the unknown, exciting, creative ocean of the creative minds. And so often I try it and I make these mistakes all the time. I don't mind. Together with Monty Warren, and Monty is hi Monty. Great to have you here. And
great to be here.
In ArTeetude, Monty is a solicitor, a testimonial, a preparer, a rock and roller, a trailer park angel. A lot of different things. He's coming from Florida, and we in the first part we were somehow talking about his youth and a little bit about his inspiration, how he came to music, how he was getting inspired by it, how he continued. We were listening to a song called Trailer Park Angel, and we were philosophizing a little bit about that as well. And now in the second part, I would say we're gonna go into the present, and I would like to know how it is as a rock and roller. I mean, Monty comes from a little 12,000, 20,000 people village, and with a lot of anger, and that's probably maybe as well the reason why you went into your job. This is solicitor.
Oh,
that's the manual job. Okay, so we didn't speak about that. I was just guessing. So how? I mean, it's probably a very tough job and very inspiring as well, and very. It's not counterproductive, but it is probably very productive for writing songs in anger. Because I think, I mean, how many years you're gonna do that? And what brought you to this issue that you're gonna thought, okay, so I want to do that. I want to go into this job.
Interesting. So I wanted to be a lawyer around. I think I wanted to be a Beatle before I wanted to be a lawyer, but it was close. I probably wanted to be a lawyer since I was seven or 8 years old. Wanted to be a Beatle since I was about 5, until I saw the Stones. But and I think really the same thing motivated me as to both, which was the kind of law I went into was, well, I think the thing that really appealed to me as a 7 or 8 year old was I found out there was this job you could kind of have in America, where if you had an argument with authority, but you were right and authority was wrong, you could still win. You could win. Like authority and you would be on an equal playing field. And if you were smarter than authority and you had a better point, you would win. I wish that was the case with my dad growing up, but it wasn't. My dad taught me, no, it's because I said so. I'm your father. Now shut up. Whereas my country at the time anyway was really teaching me that, well, wait a minute, just because you're authority doesn't mean you're always right. So if I have the better argument, then I should win, shouldn't I? I mean, that was we have a train running by. We have anyway, so the kind of law I went into was about defending people that I thought were wrongly accused, and that drove me. And so that sort of compassion for people that are suffering motivated me doing what I was doing, while at the same time I think it's a similar feeling about rock and roll, where you kind of channel it into defiance.
Yeah, and you can have the feeling that you can change something with it, isn't it?
Well, it's I don't know about changing anything really. I mean, on the rock and roll side, it was more just sort of taking that kind of toothache that you feel when things are wrong and channeling it into, you know what, you don't have power over it anymore. I mean, in other words, that toothache, I might still have the toothache, but I'm forgetting it in this moment because you know what, toothache, screw you. That's rock and roll to me. Whereas being a lawyer, it's channeling, it's playing within the the playing field of society. It's not saying screw you like rock and roll is. It's saying, I can still beat you within at your own playing field. That I think that's what it was. So it's like, okay, these are the rules. I'll beat you at the rules you set, and and if I'm right, I'll still win. So it's still a defiant attitude in it. But I'm a sucker for the underdog, because I guess when you're a kid and you're bullied, it leaves a mark on you. And
Sure,
I mean,
absolutely.
that was so when I later, was reading about Tom Petty's life, it was like he and I had almost the same father, and only he was my older brother by about 10 years. And so that's where I think a lot of that similarity comes from. I mean, things that he writes about, I completely identify with, because we're both damaged from that background, and so we're both drawn toward things that are our comfort zones that may not necessarily be good for us.
Sure.
And so if you go back through his catalog, you'll see that there's a lot of he's a victim throughout a lot of his songs. He's being victimized, and a lot of middle America that love Tom Petty, I don't think they even realize why it's appealing to them, and I think that's part of it. Because we've all been pushed around, we've all been in the situation where we were out muscled or something was bigger than us, and that whole I won't back down attitude, when you're out muscled, outgunned, you don't care. I'll go down in flames, I don't give a shit. Come on, bring it, asshole. I mean, that is, and so I think that there's some similarities there when you think about the kind of rock and roll that is good for those of us who need some outlet to feel like, you know what, for these next 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you're not in charge of me, and I don't have to feel like I'm being pushed around. I'm pushing you around for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. What do you think about that? And similarly, as a lawyer, when you're a trial lawyer, when I give an opening statement or I give a closing argument, the other side has to shut the fuck up for a little while now, don't they? So it's the first time I get the floor and they can't do a damn thing about it. And what I've never tried a case where I didn't believe 100% in what I was saying. So for those, if it's a 40-minute opening statement, 40-minute closing argument, I'm believing every word. And if the jury doesn't get it right, then that's not on me. It's on them. Because I let it fly. And I think in both forums, authenticity is the key. I mean, if you're writing a song that's something and you got something to say and it's about truth, then you're onto something. If you're faking it, you're not. And same thing as a lawyer. So at least in my experience. So I guess there's some common threads that make sense if I thought about it.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
I mean, it's art in general, so either is singer or songwriting or rock and roller.
Hey, the other thing is, like writing, I guess, rock and roll songs, you have a limited amount of time to get your point across, don't you? Well, same thing as a trial lawyer. I have a limited amount of time for my opening and closing statements, and I got to get my point across. So there's very similar concepts about attention spans and messages and everything else.
So you're gonna work as well with witnesses, because you mentioned something that you prepare people for testimonials a lot.
That's what I do these days. Yeah, I finally got out of being a trial lawyer when I discovered that there was an approach to helping people who have to testify when they're being sued, and it was a whole revolutionary kind of approach to it that kind of blew my mind, and a lot of it, I guess, had to do with first getting balanced emotionally, because so many people are so scared and angry when they're involved in the legal system.
Yeah.
And in law school, they don't teach us how to help people that just to get to a balanced state.
Yeah.
And so this is more about getting balanced, or trying to identify the things that you're angry about, identify the things that you're fearful of, and then walk through those things with reason and fact and logic. And then those things start to get more manageable. And so it really helped me on a lot of levels when I started to see that. And then when I saw that there was this way so that the people that were scared could overcome their fear and have a way to match up against people that were the lawyers suing them, that were much more experienced in the forum. They weren't scared at all. They were experienced. And it was that fear factor, once that got neutralized, it was allowing, once again, the 90-pound weakling to start to feel that they could actually win against the big bully. So I'm a sucker, obviously, for the underdog. I'm a sucker for the 90-pound weakling.
I mean, it's as well somehow a therapeutic work, isn't it, for the people? So, I mean,
it's what rock and roll's about. It's not about authority. It's about the victims of authority, which is one of the reasons why in this country it was so threatening to authority until the British people, made a lot of money on it, and then suddenly our country started to accept it. Otherwise, they were threatened by it, weren't they, in the late 50s? So anyway, it turns out that there's a lot to be said for both careers. If you feel like, you know what, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't have anything going for me necessarily when it comes to power, but it doesn't matter in those worlds now, does it? I mean, you don't have to be some rich guy's kid to be able to feel like you can succeed, in both worlds. So
that means eventually we should raise the bar. Which brings us already now. I mean, it's the first time that I'm gonna go and playing two songs, and I would say so. Let's just have a funky second to think about how we can raise the bar, and we will hear us in a couple of minutes again.
And bar, by the way, is another basically a reference for being a lawyer. Being the bar, passing the bar. Being a member of the bar.
You see? So raise the lyre.
No, raise the bar. Baby, I know you're getting tired of the same old thing. You got me all inspired like Martin Luther King. I worked all week, I kept my nose clean. Gonna open you up like a damn machine. Baby, raise the bar. I see what you're all about. I'll raise the bar. I'm calling you out. Honey, what I got, you frustrated. I don't give a damn what your cookbook said. When I'm finished with you, you're gonna have an aching head. A razor bar, I see what I'm all about. A razor bar, I'm calling you out. What you say? Go get the damn car, so go get the damn car. Go get the damn car, so go get the damn car. Go get that motherfucker. The goose is cooked, checks in the mail. Proof's in the pudding, the cock's in the tail. Don't even care what you got. I'm running on fumes, but babe, I'm running hot. Now raise the bar. There ain't no doubt. I'll raise the bar. I'm calling you out. Raise the bar. Damn, ain't it dry and drought? I'll raise the bar. I'm calling you out. Yeah, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. Yeah, call your ass out. Yeah, calling you out.
Yes, raise the bar. That was a funky moment for us all. I mean, I hope that everyone was dancing. It's a Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning in Europe at least. I mean, America is maybe a little bit too early for that. Oh, no, actually not.
Never too early.
Never too early. So, yeah, raise the bar. I mean, I really like that song. I mean, it is
Thank you.
obviously Prince influenced somehow.
I thought it was when I wrote it and produced it. I thought it was doing Morris Day. See, Morris Day had a line I always loved.
Who again? Morris Day.
Morris Day. You don't know Morris Day and the Time?
No.
You've never heard of Morris Day and the Time. Did you ever see Prince's Purple Rain? The movie Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the nemesis of Prince in that movie, the leader of the other band that makes fun of Prince.
Okay, no, I don't know about that anymore.
All right, well, that's Morris Day. That's Morris Day. And Morris Day was actually, Morris Day in the Time was sort of an alter ego of Prince. Prince produced that stuff, and they needed a singer, and I didn't know until Rod Cohen, the producer of Phil and my records, he told me that apparently the backstory is that Morris Day was the drummer of the band, but they needed that Prince needed a front man, and that he talked Morris Day into becoming that front man. And the inside joke was that Morris Day would act like he was a pimp, and the whole attitude was that he was a pimp.
They're all
And
looking
so-
like pimps.
But no, this was a big. You've got to. Hey, forget that. Listen, if you're watching or listening to this, Google Morris Day and the Time.
Yeah.
They rock hard, but they were really the quintessential, to me, sort of funk band of that 80s, 90s era. And so the lyric that I'm winking at in Raise the Bar is there was a song he wrote where the lyric was every time we're out on a date, I want to love you, but you make me wait. And then he says, then you said, I look like a pimp. Well, honey, I noticed you waited till after dinner, 18 jumbo shrimp. Damn. And then it's like, every time I take you home, you say you got a headache, want to be alone. Now, I ain't trying to brag, baby, but if I ever get you into bed, I work that body so hard, you'll wish all you had was an aching head. And that's the reference that I'm doing on Raise the Bar, where I wanted to be, kind of tipping my hat.
Yeah.
And I think also because I don't think people would expect that there'd be a commonality between Prince and, Rolling Stones, Tom Petty type rock and roll, but there is.
Probably.
Tom Petty has one of his great, if you look for it, there's a great thing that was on playback that he did with Lenny Kravitz. And it's similar, where it's a funk song. And he did it with Lenny Kravitz. And it's one of my favorite tracks of Tom Petty's.
Which one was it? I mean, I don't know actually.
It's wait a minute. Now I'll tell you after the break, because I got to remember it. The title, I'm having a senior moment, but it's a great song, and it is a when I need you, you come through. The name of the song is "You Come Through."
I will look it up on the later stages.
You gotta, and you'll see that there's a bit of, and I didn't know about that song when I wrote Raise the Bar, frankly. It was because it's not on any official album, but it's on an album of outtakes that were released. It's on the playback. It's called Playback, and you'll see that's a funk. It's like James Brown funk, but it's Lenny Kravitz. I think Lenny plays all the instruments. And it's with Tom on vocals, and it's very similar to Raise the Bar, as it turns out.
I mean, I must laugh because one of my friends from Germany, he used to be solicitor as well, and I mean, so he has his court cases and at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he went dancing up to 5, and then in his Ferrari and to the court case, doing his thing. So this song, especially this line where what was it? I will have my nose clean from.
I kept my nose clean. I worked all week. I kept my nose clean.
Yeah, right. I said, okay, so how does that work together with a solicitor and
well,
Raise the Bar?
Would you do me a favor though? Could you stop telling people that I'm a lawyer? It's such a buzzkill. No one's gonna respect a rock and roller who's also a lawyer. I mean, it's really not good marketing. Not good marketing. He's just kidding. I'm really I'm a bartender.
Yeah. No, but it's great. It fits together very well. I mean, it is. I mean,
yeah. Okay, change the subject.
I must say, guys, it's really if you listen to all his albums, they are quite. I mean, the songs are somehow written from out of one hand, but they are really different, I must say. I mean, they are some songs they are more danceable, like Raise the Bar. Some songs are getting more really so in a sophisticated direction, quite deep, quite dark, and with a couple of really lovely arrangements. one song. It's actually the second and the last song which I'm gonna play in this episode. Was together with probably what the first song was Phil Wolf called "Hey Junkman."
Yeah.
I would say we just listen to "Hey Junkman" and then after that we can say a couple
Okay.
of words and
Okay.
let's go into "Hey Junkman, Hey Junkman, Hey yeah yeah, Hey Junkman, Hey Junkman, you can throw it all away. Hey Junkman, Hey Junkman, you can throw it all away. And now the wheels are coming off because I ground into another double play. Hey Junkman, Hey Junkman, see me standing at the curb. Hey Junkman, see me standing at the curb. I got a sign in my collar saying, motherfucker, you best not disturb. Guitar. Hey Junkman, don't you turn your truck around. No. Hey Junkman, don't you turn your truck around. I got one foot into the grave and my ear is pressed against the ground. Yeah. Hey Junkman, I got no further use for these. Hey Junkman, got no further use for these. Just let me ride that quarter panel like a seagull likes to glide that ocean breeze. Play it again, baby. Hey Junkman, Junkman. 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 Hey Junkman, Yeah. Hey Junkman. That was Monty told me more than less what the first song together was Phil Wolf. Actually, the person we're gonna go deeper into that in the third part on next Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, is there any word to say about Hey Junkman? I mean, or
What would you like to know?
huh?
What do you want to know?
I don't know. I mean, it is. Who wrote? You wrote it probably, and you gave it Phil.
No. So what happened was I wrote it, and I wrote it because a friend of mine had told me that a really good friend of his who was a a musician, guitar player, spent his whole life being a local guitar player in Colorado, was dying. And so I wrote this song about that. It's really about this the idea of confronting your own death, believe it or not. And so when I went to record it, in that time frame, I was becoming friendly with Phil over what was then MySpace, I guess. And I had looked him up and I'd seen him perform on some of the videos he had done with his band in Spain. Mm-hmm. And so just on a whim, I asked him if he'd be interested in singing a verse. So he said, sure. And that's when I sent it to him. And I'd never met him. I just sent it through, the wonders of the internet. And that's how we got on the album. And then when I heard the result of it, that's when I decided we needed to work together. And that's that led to this War Wolf project.
All right. Okay, cool. I would say we will listen more about this War Wolf project next Sunday at 10 a.m. in Europe and 5 a.m. in Florida. So guys, tune in, next Sunday. And if you want to know more about Monty, you can find him on Instagram, on Facebook. Instagram is what is it? Monty Warren.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not on Instagram as we speak, but hopefully I will be by the time this airs.
We're gonna check that out.
But you can definitely find the name of the next album is Slapback Backslap. So I'd recommend people go to slapbackbackslap.com.
Yeah, and you can find it as well on Instagram at @thatschlich, or on Instagram at ArTeetude, or on Instagram at I Love West Cork Artists, or on Facebook at the I Love West Cork Artists group. I will promote for that on every platform, and you might find it.
And CD Baby, by the way, go to cdbaby.com and look for Monty Warren or Monty Warren and friggin' whatevers, or Phil Wolf and Monty Warren, or War Wolf.
Yeah, and eventually, if you go to ArTeetude.com, you will find any other information about Monty as well. Not just that, you will find. I gotta start now with merchandising. This is this cap called Two Boats in Love, which is actually these two boats. They are here at the river Illen. So all this work is done by myself as well. What I gonna do as well is I gonna do 3 special edition collector cups with Monty Warren.
I'll buy one. I'll buy one.
I have to prepare them. I hope on Sunday. If no, actually, so now they are now available. So. All right, this is that, and like I say, ArTeetude.com, and you can find anything else. And we see us as well a week later, because it's on YouTube. It will come on YouTube, and you see Monty Warren without sunglasses, and
maybe I'll put him on again for the 3rd episode.
Maybe, yeah. So and the 3rd episode, we invite as well Phil Wolf, and we will see us all together.
I should probably change clothes. I should change my outfit.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, guys. Monty, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to have you here on my show, and see you guys all together.
Bye bye.
You have listened to ArTeetude, West Cork's first art, fashion and design podcast. ArTeetude, never so close again. That was too close.